Hey guys, my name's Jamin. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm working on an HP Chromebook 11G3. I'm going to show you how to open it up to access your motherboard, which has your hard drive, your storage, and your memory on it. So first thing you want to do, guys, power down the computer, make sure it's turned off and unplugged. We're then going to flip it over to access the bottom case screws. You have 4 screws on the bottom here. You have 2 screws up here near the top left corner, 2 screws up here toward the top right, and then 1 in the top middle right there. I've also taken off the rubber feet on top because they've hidden a screw under each rubber foot. Now these rubber feet are just held down with double-sided tape, so you can get those up with a small pry tool or a thin flathead screwdriver. You can get those up and put them back down. It shouldn't be a problem. After taking those up, we're going to take a small flat pry tool and go around the outside of the computer, not on the exact edge, but more on top right here, the rim. As you can see, the palm rest kind of sits in the bottom case. So there's no seam on the side, but it's up here where the palm rest sits in the bottom case. So take your pry tool and go across that seam and gently pry up your palm rest from the bottom case. After getting your palm rest up, you can't just rip it off. As you can see here, there's a small ribbon cable coming from your touchpad to your motherboard and a larger one from the keyboard to the motherboard. You have to take those up. In order to open those clips to remove your ribbon cables, you have right here and right here the ports that those ribbon cables are plugged into, this small one and this large one. In these white ports, there's a black retainer clip that opens kind of like a book cover. It opens up to release the ribbon cable and it closes to secure it. So you would take your small flat plastic pry tool and you would gently put it in this way up towards the top of the computer under that black retainer clip and pop it up just a little bit. Be very careful. They're very fragile and they break easily, but that's how you would get your ribbon cables up. After you've unplugged your ribbon cables from the motherboard, then you can remove the palm rest. And this is what you're left with here. Now, before working on any computer, guys, we want as little power running through it as possible, which is why we unplug it. We also want to unplug your battery first thing before touching anything else in here. Now, as a side note, any computer I work on like this that I go into, I have it sitting on an anti-static mat. Either that or an anti-static bracelet are great ideas to limit your chances of damaging things when entering your computer. If you need any help with tools or supplies for your project, there'll be a link above, also below in the description to my Amazon store. In my store, guys, there's several lists. Repair tools is one of them. You'll see there some commonly used hand tool sets, some anti-static gear, things that I use commonly in my shop. You can check out the link above. I'll also have it below in the description. To unplug the battery, you see the battery here is plugged into the motherboard. Instead of grabbing the wires, we're going to go for the white plug right there, either by putting our fingernails on either grip or a pry tool or a pair of pliers, whatever we use, we're going to go at the plug, not the wires. Once that is unplugged, we can gain access to the motherboard, which is here. And we have to unplug several other things to get to the motherboard. There's a ribbon cable here that you can unhook the same way. There's also your Wi-Fi cable here that comes undone with a single screw, and then it comes out of the port. Also, your power jack is plugged in here. Same thing as the battery, we'll unplug that. You also have your LCD cable right up here that's plugged in kind of the same way the ribbon cables were. So you'll pop up this black retainer clip there, and that will slide out. Also, you have your speaker wire plugged in down here to the bottom right. That'll come out the same way that the battery plug did by pulling down. And then you have various screws that hold in the motherboard, which are usually signaled out by the white triangle or the white arrow pointing to them. So this screw, this one, these two here, this one there, and you'll be able to get your motherboard up. Now, as far as the storage and the RAM, guys, I've gotten questions on these kind of computers before. Where is it? They're both integrated into this motherboard. So your hard drive is actually an eMMC drive, and your RAM is integrated both into this motherboard. So you can't really remove them separately. If you're looking for any upgrades, upgrade the motherboard itself to another motherboard with higher specs that may have been available for your model. Another option is always using external storage or memory for your computer. And if you're looking for a motherboard replacement, you can look right here. This is the HP part number. It's 783089001. I'll also have that below in the description if you need it. So that's how you would access your motherboard, which includes your storage and your memory in this model computer. I hope that this was helpful, guys. Any questions, check out the FAQs below in the description. If you need to leave me a question or comment, please do. I answer those as often as I can. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And now I'll leave you with a quick pitch from my affiliate partner, a great place to get games, Humble Bundle. At Humble, guys, you can get the latest games at great prices. They also have great ways to save when you're buying. You can bundle your games together in a purchase instead of buying them one at a time. You can also join Humble Choice, which is a monthly subscription service that gets you free games every month. And you can also feel good about your purchases because Humble has donated a ton of money to charity. And every time you pay your Humble Choice membership, every time you use my link, charity gets more. So it's a great website, guys, great place to get games. Check it out with the link above. I'll also have the link below in my description.